Well, hello there, friend. Hey, thanks for stopping by. Thanks for hanging out. Andrew Najera here at Drew Installs Hardware. Today I am installing a coordinator. I'm installing a bar coordinator, to be specific. This is something that gets used on doors or pairs of doors that have flush bolts. You have an inactive leaf and you have an active leaf. The inactive leaf there is closed first, and then here comes the active leaf closed. It activates the flush bolt, but that's the order they got to close in. The inactive leaf closes first, and then the active leaf closes. Well, how do you do that? One way you do that is by using a bar coordinator. Yep. First and second. Yep, you got it, guy. So this product here is an Ives Core 52, which is their bar coordinator for a 6.0 pair, which is what I'm working on. And it just so happens that these are doors, I think these doors are 8 feet tall. So this is some ladder work for me. And so you'll see kind of how I do that. But this is what's going on here. The fat side over there doesn't go in until that smaller side goes in. Then the fat side goes in. So that's how it makes sure the active leaf stays open, and then the inactive leaf closes first. Then that lets the active leaf close. So this mounts to the stop at the head of the frame. I'm just going to hold that up there to show you about right where it goes. It goes right there. Now the instructions show you going flush to the edge of the stop. I'd tell you from experience that's not a great way to do it. You got to hold it back just a little bit. So here I'm just using, I think I'm using like a self-drilling sheetrock screw just to temporarily mount the bar for me. It's going through the skin of the frame. There's backing up there for a closer probably, because that's just how they build them. But I'm just temporarily mounting it with a sheetrock screw, a self-drilling sheetrock screw. And you see I'm holding that. I'm not putting it right to the edge of the stop. I'm holding it back just a little bit, almost just to the edge of the stop that's rounded over. You don't want it to be all the way flush, because you'll see later we're going to put a rub plate on the skin of the door so the door actually grows a little bit. And if you got that little gap there, it makes everything line up real nice. So yeah, I just temporarily mount it with 2 screws, and then that's going to let me drill the other holes and use the supplied screws, which is really important to do. So here I must have had some caffeine moving pretty quickly, a little bit too quickly if you ask me. Something's fishy there, guy. But yeah, I'm unpacking the screws. You see those are the rub plates, and then this is the filler bar, which goes right there, and it finishes out the bar. And that lets you, this one has an auto operator, but if you were going to be mounting closers on this one, they'd be regular arms, so it doesn't really matter. But when it's a reverse swing doors, you'll have mounting blocks for parallel arm closers that go over the bar. Yeah, you will check that out another day. But yeah, just to get started, I'm drilling that first hole and tapping it. These are 1224 screws, so I'm tapping it 1224. And I'm going to put that first supplied screw in, and then that's going to let me take out my first temporary mounting screw, and then I'll go crazy drilling some holes and tapping some more holes. If you have this is a little bit smaller drill I'm using here, and that works really well for getting the first screw hole started, because it's pretty tight to the frame. And if you have a big drill, it can be a little bit tough to get up in there and drill it. Another piece of advice when tapping, I'll tell somebody, if you're having trouble tapping, you're breaking taps, first off, we don't want to break taps. You know, they cost money for one. Second, it takes time to fix it, doesn't it? That costs money. So try to do our best not to tap or not to break the taps. But if you're having trouble with it, I suggest, engaging the chuck feature on your drill as you're tapping, and setting it maybe to a kind of lower setting, because then if you're, when you do come against some resistance or it's not running in smoothly, then that chuck will engage before the tap breaks. So you see there, I'm just measuring how long that filler bar needs to be. I'm going to mark it, and then you'll see here I cut it maybe a little different than some people. To me, I love using this tool in this way, but I got a cutoff wheel that says it's set up for aluminum, and I like to use the angle grinder with the cutoff blade to cut this. I use this for sweeps, and I use it for screw on seal. To me, this is just, it works great. It's fast, and yeah, I love it. And you know, some of the other options are jigsaw, chop saw, and I just love it. I always have the angle grinder on my cart, always ready to go, and it's fast. And here I'm just prepping a couple holes, mounting holes for the filler bar. Now, if you've installed any of these before, you're going to see I don't install something here. Let's talk about it in the comments, okay? Tell me what you think about this. I have thoughts. I definitely have thoughts. Okay. But yeah, here we go. You just set it up there. I put the cut end toward the edge of the frame, so that my factory edge goes to the factory edge of the end of the bar. And then right there, I move the ladder now, and now, you know, you try to do as much in one position as you can. So I'm going to drill 3 holes here, I think. I'm going to drill that one, and then the other one. And I'll tap those 3 as well. And then that will let me install that last screw in the bar. Then I'll remove the last temporary screw and do it that way. Yeah, I've tried to maybe hold the bar up and just mark a hole, or hold the bar up and start my drill and get a hole started. I've done it where I just hold it up and maybe put a screw right in the middle. This way I find works best for me. Yeah, and it just works best for me. So and I could do it all day. Give me, let's see, I'm not gonna get too crazy, but give me a bunch of these to do. I'll do them all day. Love doing them. Yeah, they're great. So yeah, removing that final temporary mounting screw. Golly, what do we got left? Tap that guy, put it in. I know we got the rub plates. Well, let's just see if it works. Okay, so I'm trying to close the active door, and it's getting held up. What's it getting held up by? It's getting held up by the coordinator. Coordinator is preventing that side from closing first, because it wants the flush bolt side to close first. Boom, flush bolt side's closed. You see here that little gap I was talking about, just by holding it back a little, that's going to just help us out in a lot of ways. It's going to help us out when I put the rub plate on. Yeah, it's better that way. So inactive leaf's closed, and then it lets the active door close. That's exactly what we are looking for in a coordinator. So what's next, Drew? Well, you got them rub plates. What are those rub plates going to do? Well, those just screw to the face of the door. And yeah, those little actuators rub up on them rub plates. So I just make a little mark. There's lots of different ways to do that. I just make a mark so that I can then install them with the doors open. And I'm usually in everybody's way anyway when I'm working on a pair of doors. Luckily, this one didn't have a lot of people needing to get in and out of it, so I was able to work pretty cleanly on my own here. But yeah, that's what a coordinator does. It makes sure the active leaf stays open until the inactive leaf closes first. Wow, if you made it this far, thank you so much for hanging out. Thanks for watching this video with me. Please keep those requests coming. I'll get to them eventually. And yeah, love installing these. They work great. So anyway, until next time, everybody, let me just say happy hardwaring.